Hello, my name is Cody, and to be honest, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here. Like many in the spiritual community, I guess you could say, on the internet, on YouTube, and other platforms, there have been more and more people, it seems, that are compelled to come out and talk about the reality of things and speak the truth now, what is really important in this moment and everything. Um, I've been procrastinating against it for a very long time myself. I feel like there's so many voices out there already, and yet I feel like I am obligated to add my voice to the chorus. So here I am. There are many others who are way more established already out there that I highly recommend if you're receptive to me at all that you go check out, like Quantum of Conscience with Matt. He's a really nice guy. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to. Well, he wouldn't say that. He is great at questioning things. He's really good at analyzing the reality in an average Joe sort of way, in something something we can all relate to and grasp. I think and he really tries to make videos where it's relatable to people that are not in the know. Bless his heart, he tries to reveal the true nature of things to normal people, and it just doesn't work. Or he used to. He doesn't do it so much anymore. I don't want to like talk as if he's a fool or anything. I highly respect that man, and I do seriously recommend his channel for insight into film and certain architecture that's unusual and that shouldn't have been physically possible and what have you. Um, I just tried to listen to, in my own spiritual journey over the years, I've just been trying to listen to a little bit of everybody, and then I use my own inner knowingness, my discernment, which you gotta flex and practice like a muscle. And you got to use that to kind of hone in on what resonates with you, and then so long as you open yourself up to that and you use your own discernment to realize what's legitimate, what's bullshit, you can find yourself in a very incredible place. It's very phenomenal. I myself, for most of my life, was actually pretty hardcore atheist since I was like a child, really. But that was more out of stubbornness and spite. Um, it did become real in like teenage years, though. I was like, this is it. This meat vessel that we're all riding in. This is it. This is all we got. And then when we die, it's just like CNN says, when we die, that all of a sudden we rot away, and then we're just like nothingness or whatever. What stupid nonsense like. um, and I don't want to disrespect the atheist or whatever, but we are getting to a point where it's comically obvious. It's even obvious for me. Like I said, I was legitimately an atheist myself for we'll say like a decade and a half, about a decade and a half. And I was, very angry all the time and depressed and all this shit. And that those two things don't correlate, before anyone jumps down my throat. I'm not trying to insinuate those correlate. But for me personally, in that time, I was very depressed and, angry and all this negative shit. Um, Anxious, doubting myself, I smoke cigarettes and all this crap. Um, Self sabotage, destroying relationships. But it gets to a point where you hit rock bottom or damn near rock bottom, you get very low. You find yourself utterly lost and just like, screaming for help. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I really fucked up everything. Um, And as insane as it is, as bullshit as it will probably seem, especially if you've been in a dark place for a long time, right? Um, if you just kind of open yourself to God, um, and just in whatever way feels right for you. I'm really trying not to push anything. This whole experience right now is really weird for me, and a little uncomfortable. It doesn't matter if you're Christian or Jewish or Islam or whatever the hell it is. Do I have it here? One second. I actually have in my possession a novel written by an atheist that I'm going through right now. Oh, get it. I know I'm so professional. This is amazing. So here we go. Yeah, the world's I don't know, yeah, here we go. The world's 16 crucified saviors. I had heard about it. I haven't read it yet. So withhold judgment until I finish. But basically, this guy, he does all this research and discovers that well before Christianity, there's all these other religions that have the identical story. You got the Jesus guy who sacrifices himself on the cross, and then it's for our sins and all this, and it's the Tower of Babylon, the Garden of Eden. All the Moses and the parting of the seas, all of that really major, significant shit, right? It's all the same in all of these religions and all these places around the world. And the guy who wrote the novel wrote it to disprove Christianity. Like, Christianity is bullshit nonsense. These guys just copied it from these guys, who just copied it from these guys, so on. But he himself even admits very early on, even in like the first few chapters I read, or the first chapter, that this shit was popping up at the same time in different parts of the world by people who speak different languages, and the names are different, but Muhammad or Jesus or whatever, Buddha, whatever you want to call him, there's a real something out there, everybody, and we're coming to the dramatic conclusion of the story right now. It's not gonna be, well, I mean, it's gonna be some terrible shit, but after the terrible shit, it's not gonna be like the end of all things, or like we're all totally fucked. It's gonna seem that way. It's gonna seem that way for a time. But then we'll go into the new age of Aquarius, and which we're technically already in, but it'll the momentum will really be going, and then we'll be in for some really good shit. So, and obviously this video is not meant for people who are new to any of this shit. I'm sorry, guys. I never felt like trying to interfere too much with people's beliefs. It is important that we let people believe what they want to believe, and we respect everyone's sovereignty and freedom of choice and all that jazz. But if you are in the know, as it were, I guess we'll see if these videos are beneficial for anybody, if I can go ahead and start delving into some things that are of spiritual significance that people are receptive to, maybe. I'm no expert myself. I'm just jumping in this, and I just feel like doing this, and that's one thing you learn actually pretty early on, and it's pretty crazy how things work out. Is well, first off, there are no coincidences, right? There are no coincidences. How the reality works is, okay, the secrets of the universe, everybody. Here we go. Your thoughts and your frequency, which is determined by your thoughts and your emotional state and your beliefs, these things manifest your life. And what I mean by that is like the way this universe works is like time. This whole time thing is actually kind of unique to where we are, and time slows things down. The one thing faster than the speed of light is the speed of thought. And outside of here, when you think something, it manifests instantaneously. But if we had that here as we are, obviously, that things would get fucked up so fast. I mean, ooh, the chaos. But so instead, there's a delay. It's an input lag. It's like if you play fighting games, right? There's an input delay when you're playing online in Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. There will be at least a few frame delay on your button inputs, and that can mess you up if you aren't used to that. Well, imagine that just on a more extreme scale, okay? When you when you like, okay, let's use the negative example, right? A lot of people are feeling down with 2020 and I mean the C word and all this stuff. So let's say you think like, oh, I'm so stupid, or I'm this piece of shit, or you have a lot of self-loathing. I can't. Oh, they did this to me. I'm powerless. I'm the victim, and all this stuff. And I do empathize for people that are suffering. I don't want to diminish anyone's suffering. Okay, respect to everybody. But it can be easy to trap yourself in the victim mentality and in victimhood, like as a experience. Um, when you're in victimhood, every bad thing is being done to you, so it's not your fault. There's no accountability, and bad things do happen to good people in this world. That's a real thing. Bad things that ought not happen do happen because of these uh, these naughty third party people, which we can talk about another time. But on top of that, it's like it's not one or the other. That happens, but as well as that, on top of that, your thoughts also affected. So imagine how super fucked you are if you think all these negative things about yourself and that you can't do anything and that victim me, then and some like negative entities are fucking with you, then you're totally playing into their game, and you're just getting all your energy sapped out of you. You don't want that shit. You don't want that shit. Like what's Alex Jones call them? He calls them the interdimensional vampires. I mean, it's kind of, and just don't play into their game. Once you realize that you are a sovereign being, okay, we are divine, we are infinite. It's like David Icke says. There's another name for it. That's what I'll do. I'm gonna pop out. Maybe that's why I'm making this video. I'm gonna pop out all these fucking names. You guys can look up and do your own research and critical think and come to your own conclusions. That's beautiful. So yeah, like David Icke says, we're all infinite consciousness looking back and experiencing itself, or like through the telescope, or however he puts it, because that's basically what it is. Like, whether you want to call it God or the Creator, or whatever you want to call the sentient origin of the universe. Okay, it split itself off into quintillions of pieces, and you and I are one of those individual pieces. Every human being, every piece of life has a little God in them already. And like oh, there's so much to unpack and unload. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do this. Maybe I'll split the video into separate parts or something. Okay, so every living thing has a little bit of God in them already. And a lot of people feel as though God is responsible for the bad things that happen to them. But it's really just the opposite. God respects and loves free will so much that if you, in your life experience, leave yourself open to being attacked, and then malevolent party decides to, you know, come in and fuck with your shit because they're evil, then that's an unfortunate evil experience that played out in the world. And God had nothing to do with that shit. Oh man. Um, and imagine this, guys. Like, God's lonely. Of course. Why did he make everything? And imagine how much it would suck, right? If everyone comes crying to you, oh Lord, it's so hard and all this shit. Whenever the times are bad, but then when the times are good and jolly and beautiful, then everyone forgets you exist. That kind of sucks, right? Right? You'd feel salty. You'd feel like like, and imagine it's like your kid doing this or something. You love them. You're not gonna hold a grudge, but you're just like, you little shit. I fucking paid for that college tuition. That's kind of how he's like how he feels right now. But he loves, he forgives. Um, he doesn't judge in the way that we think of judgment, because he does judge. He's the judge, but it's not in the way we judge. He's not like, you little fuck. That's not actually how he is. He'll get frustrated, but he's very slow to anger. This is so unorganized. I'm trying here. Okay, it's all right. We'll edit it into bits or something. Okay, so in the interest of exercising your own discernment, you should absolutely, if you're unsure, also look into opposing voices. Matt Dillahunty is a pretty renowned guy in the atheist community, and he debates people. And he's a very excellent debater. I've enjoyed watching his interactions with people over the years. Um, it's important to listen to people that you disagree with if they're interested in actually, sharing their dialogue in some sort of useful manner. If they're not, if they're just like screaming that you're a piece of shit, then whatever, block them out. But yeah, no, for like as someone who disagree, who would absolutely think that I'm a fucking lunatic. Um, Matt Dillahunty, yeah, listen to him. He and just like hear out what he has to say and what his thoughts are on everything and how things work. It's interesting. It's interesting for sure, and I do absolutely respect everyone's perspective in the game. Um, some other notable people though, Santos Bonacci and Jordan Maxwell. Both of these two have incredible biblical knowledge for Christianity and others. And a lot of their research is out there, free and available in video uh, format, where they're explaining things to you in a much more professional manner than this. All of it's on fucking YouTube or BitChute, or you can find it. You can find it, guys. The censors are going crazy right now. They're all scared and desperate. Oh no, everyone's waking up. But everyone is waking up, and there's nothing they can do about it. So you'll find it somewhere if you're open to it. That's one of the magical things, and I think that through this whole diatribe, I finally have circled back around to one of the original points I wanted to make about getting started in all this. And you're feeling down, and you're like, all right, look, you got nothing left to lose. Yeah, nothing left to lose. So just reach out to God and see what happens, right? Well, how it works is you can just, I mean, be respectful and everything, but verbally and with intent, positive intent, um, just try talking to him, man. Just try talking to him. Whatever feels right. It doesn't have to be a request. Just try talking to him. Interact. Your higher self, your God, your angels that are around you, whatever you want to consider it. There is a spiritual something or other that we all have access to from the beginning. This whole fucking time, it was right there. And with it, you can achieve incredible things. Um, your whole life changes. Who you are as a person changes for the better, for a more positive and productive and social person, right? A more happy person, a more genuinely happy and loving person that you want to be. You don't want to be miserable, right? All of this and more. What a salesman I am, right? In my little fucking my little hole here. But for real, you can manifest with the right discipline, with the right conviction, and with the right support. You can absolutely find your way in these times. This feels like the conclusion to my first video. I guess I will say thank you for listening. If you do think that I'm fucking insane, that's totally fine. Peace be upon you and all that shit. And yeah, that's it for me, guys. Thanks again for watching. I will figure out what I'm going to be doing with this. If this is going to be a video series, if this is going to be the start of some bigger thing, I don't know. But okay. Let me end the video with this. Okay. Very antisocial, me. Very antisocial. The number one thing that I love is, other than my beautiful family and friends and God, is and my pet snake, is solitude. I love my solitude. I'll go out into the park. I guess I shouldn't just fucking dox myself, huh? I love going to parks and into the forest and just being away from people. I'll take a hike and then I'll go off the trail and get myself lost like a fool a few times. And like I went out to the local park where there's some woods and I got lost for 4 hours getting off the trail just so I can enjoy the beauty of the water moving in a river and like the little textures on a leaf, just like the little bits of nature that people can't like see and appreciate anymore. Like it's there, but all of us have been so fucked with by these things. Reacting to my fucking camera or something, however these things work. Piece of shit. Those devil devices. Oh man. Yeah. As far as normies go and any normal people watching the video, just go with it that I'm insane. That's fine. Not trying to hurt anybody. People have been hopelessly, I shouldn't say hopelessly, but near hopelessly brainwashed. In a really malevolent, dark, and fairly frightening way. A lot of people ought to already be more receptive to spirituality and everything, if we're being honest, but the problem is, when something is so horrific and dark that to face it would just destroy you, like really crush your spirit, drive you into madness. that's the kind of dark shit that's coming up in our day and age. It's some really dark stuff, everybody. But if it's too much for you in particular, you shouldn't feel guilty for blocking it out. It's going to come out anyway. Just find your peace with God. Find your peace with your family and your friends, and don't focus on the darkness. Don't focus on the darkness. There's a lot of beauty out there. A lot of beauty out there. A lot of beautiful people. A lot of beautiful nature. A lot of beautiful things to live for. It is going to get darker and it's going to get harder. But then it'll get brighter. Darkest before the dawn. The whole play of humanity. It's been one big drama. All the world's a stage. That shit's more literal than people realize. We're approaching the dramatic conclusion. If you're willing to just give God a chance, He will be there for you. Especially now. We all need Him. We all need it, whatever you want to call it. God, Buddha, Krishna, the Jewish God, whatever. Yahweh, Muhammad, whatever. Just know there is a divine creator. It is love incarnate, and that's why we get so fucked up when we lose it, when we separate ourselves from it. You know, we all have this drive to be free, right? But when you free yourself, like, this is what happened to some of those poor souls out there, like, God, should I name politician names? Like I don't want to get political. There are some very unfortunate souls out there who just, they strove to have it their way. Even though God does let you have it your way, you do have freedom, but they wanted, I guess, what they consider to be true sovereignty, which is they wanted to be completely separate, right? Like I said, all of us have a little God in us, even if you're an atheist. Like, sorry, but it's in there. But some of these people work so hard at getting that out that they're literally incapable, like physically incapable, of experiencing empathy, love, these things. And they deserve a lot of hate for what they've done. I cannot imagine what's going to happen to them when all this is over. But part of it, however small part of me, pities them too a little bit. I mean, they must have had no idea what they were getting themselves into when they decided to separate from God, all, like, fully. You don't separate yourself fully from love incarnate, because there goes your joy and happiness. And, like, it's not such a bad thing to be connected to God. It's not like you have to be perfect. We're all imperfect. I fuck up all the time. I don't know why I'm even having to make this video. I'm gonna complain about that. But here we are, right? We all got some sort of role. We all got some sort of purpose. These are the times. These are the times we live in. So I thank you again for watching. I will potentially expand and make more. I wish you all well. Be safe. Be loved. Try to love each other. If you live in America, we're in the greatest divide right now. Like there's two Americas, like there's two realities almost. Try not to hate the other side. However lost you think their position is, they're in that position. Their perspective is that perspective because in their heart they believe that is what's best for them and their family. That's what's best for the people they love and their happiness. Okay? Just try to think of it from that perspective. Left or right. Either way, just try to seek out some of the light in people. It's there. They're worth it. They can be so worth it. And even the most vile bastard can change his stars and do something really special and good with his life. All right. God bless you. I love you. God loves you. Have a good day.